You're watching the Run For It YouTube channel. In this special episode, we're out in the field and James is testing the brand new Ronhill Trail Running Shoes. The Freedom feature a Matryx upper and a Michelin outsole with 4mm lugs and are designed for firmer packed terrain. The Reverence also feature a Matryx upper but have a Michelin outsole with 7mm lugs, making them best for soft ground. Hope you enjoy. Both models feature Ronhill's True Fit Last, which offers more space than traditional uppers. James, how did they feel and fit?
They felt very accommodating. So in all different types of terrain, going uphill and also down on sort of corners. There's no pressure points in the shoe, which was really nice. I'd say the fit between the two was actually remarkably similar. If anything, I'd say the Reverence actually felt a little bit wider through the toe box. I also had a little bit of a reservation when taking them out the box, just because the upper did feel quite stiff. But I didn't notice that at all when I was running. There was no digging into my foot. So yeah, really comfortable.
How does the Kevlar-based Matryx upper feel?
Yeah, as I was saying with regard to the actual fit of the shoe, initially it felt quite stiff in your hands, but when running, you didn't notice it at all. Obviously, Kevlar is known to be very, very durable, and Matryx in a number of uppers in other models of trainers. So I suspect these are going to hold up really well. And as I said, the fact I didn't notice them was a real benefit of the shoe.
Both models also feature a pretty supportive heel counter. Did that help on uneven terrain?
Yeah, it felt really secure. It's got this really, on both models, you might be able to see this. It's got this really nice suede material on either side. It felt very soft against your skin. So yeah, no rubbing or friction points. I didn't notice my heel raising up at all in either pair. The way that the True Last sort of upper, the way the tongue wraps around your foot as well, really just locks in your foot. It's nice.
The grip on the Freedom is designed for firmer packed ground. How did you find it performed?
Felt very, very good, very secure on a real mixture of terrain, like particularly wet, rocky sections. You didn't notice any slipping underfoot, and just yeah, felt very confident in terms of what the grip delivered. The 4mm lugs, yeah, worked really well on like a real variety of terrain.
And in comparison, how did the more aggressive 7mm lugs on the Reverence feel?
Yeah, so the lugs are multi-directional and chevroned as well, so they're really good at just biting into softer ground. When running up on some of the steeper slopes over there, like it really bit. I didn't notice any real slipping on them, and even sort of lateral movements as well. They worked really nicely, and there wasn't too much mud caking up between the lugs either. So yeah, cleared very nicely.
How does the Duo Pro midsole in the Freedom feel?
So yeah, it's a bit of a firmer cushioning in these guys than maybe you'd expect in some other trail shoes. But I think that's a real benefit because at no point did I feel the foam was bottoming out, and it felt very, very stable on a foot underfoot. In these guys, you've got two layers of foam. So you've got a slightly denser layer that sits on the bottom of the midsole, and then the top part of the midsole is a slightly softer layer. And you actually definitely notice that it's had a really sort of soft step in with a slightly more rigid toe off. And yeah, I think that will mean that you're going to get an awful lot of miles of these guys and consistent miles as well. It's not going to feel like it bottoms out on those longer runs.
The Reverence also features the same Duo Pro cushioning, but there's a slight difference, isn't there?
Yeah, so the Reverence uses a lower stack height than what you've got in the Freedom there. So you definitely felt a lot closer to the ground in the shoe, which definitely worked a little bit better when you're on those softer areas, when you're going around corners, just had a little bit more ground feel. What's quite nice about these guys, though, is there's a lot more foam and cushioning in them than your typical fell shoe. So particularly for those long hill races, combined with that much wider and more accommodating toe box, it's going to work really, really well for, yeah, really long days in the hills.
And what are the Freedom best for and when will you not use them?
So the Freedom is a really versatile door to trail shoe, I'd say. The lug depth mean that it's not going to feel too aggressive when you're running on the road, but gives plenty of lug depth when you are going onto some firmer trails. I won't be taking this shoe up onto sort of really technical terrain and through real boggy areas, but fire roads, country parks, and where you've got road sections in between, they're perfect.
In contrast, what are the Reverence best suited to?
So the Reverence works really, really well on softer terrain, really sort of boggy fields where you've got, you know, a good layer of mud on them. I'd say they'd work really well on scree shoots, very on loose terrain, up on the hills as well, and for those longer periods out in the hills. Where I won't be using the shoe is probably on those daughter trail runs. The lugs were a little bit noticeable underfoot when you're running on the road, just not really comfortable, to picking the Freedom out instead for that. But yeah, if you're going on anything that's got a bit of loose terrain, like particularly through the winter months, if your particular parks around you get really, really boggy, they'd be a perfect option, as well as up in the hills. So that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.